Well, thank you, David, and thank you for the trust of my colleagues, and thank you for the excellent collaboration that I have with the delegation of the Joint Parliamentary Committee and Manolis Kefalogiannis as the leader. It's a very frustrating task. I envy, really, the colleagues that had the opportunity today to say the country that I take care of on behalf of the Parliament is progressing. I envy a lot when I hear about frontrunner. It's not the case of Turkey regarding the accession process. And for that reason, it's really frustrating, but at least we have to say that we have a good collaboration with the authorities. I always praise the fact that even being myself very critical in many issues of domestic backsliding, I always has been received friendly and kindly by the authorities. And I kept and I keep always a really open channel with the civil society that is suffering this democratic backsliding. This is one of the reasons for continuing with this task. The main political rationale of the report is to distinguish between membership and partnership. Membership is the accession process, is normative and is related to the fundamentals and to democracy. No progress at all. On the contrary, a fully authoritarian backsliding. Membership, David evoked the case, we have to encounter a way to deal with Turkey as an important neighbour in many fields, and in that sense, my proposal to my colleagues for approving this year the report has to deal with this double soul. Let's be realistic, let's be practical, let's encounter even in a transactional way some channels to deal with Turkey in custom unions, in visa liberalization. There are 7 benchmarks not having fulfilled. In security and defense, taking into account for sure the legitimate and very reasonable concerns of Cyprus and Greece. The problem of Made in Europe, the recent proposals of Made in Europe and shortening the value channels and trying to produce in Europe the things we need has created some concerns in Turkey, like the same our trade agreement with India and Mercosur, and we have to try to tackle with this. And high-level talks, the Parliament consistently has request the resuming of every high-level talks, because it's cynical. It's completely cynical that everybody is going to Ankara, the Commission, the Council, the high officials, and now we maintain this of not having high-level talks. And for that reason, it's better to resume the high-level talks after the suspension of this format, the formal suspension of this format in the Council some years ago. One thing I would like to express today is the shouting silence of the Commission and the Council regarding the democratic situation in Turkey is damaging gravely the image of the European Union. Gravely. We are losing the pro-European, pro-democratic civil society in Turkey because the Commission and the Council and the External Service, they never raise the issues of the situation of democracy, or if it is the case, just one phrase in a very general way. And this is very damaging for the image of the European Union, and that's creates the impression that only the European Parliament has taken care of the democratic situation and it's not the case. It's to promote democracy and to take care about democracy is an obligation of every institution of the European Union. It's not only the role of the Parliament. And finally, I have to say that the last developments, even having this hope of the peace process ongoing in the Turkish Parliament regarding the Kurdish issue, I think it's now in a position in which the recent nomination for Minister of Justice of the former prosecutors that has been crushing the opposition and including the Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, this prosecutor that is the spearhead of the repression has been nominated Minister of Justice. And this is again a test for Turkey. Do you really want to approach the European Union nominating as a Minister of Justice the prosecutor that has been the frontliner in the political repression? I'm afraid the report is not going to be very optimistic in this sense. Thank you.
Nacho, you can now sum up briefly.
Well, briefly to the colleagues. As the shadow knows, we share with the shadows what we call the working draft, a long version, but the colleagues only having the text that has been published only have a very short version. For formal reason, we can do differently. I insist in my call to the Commission and the External Service, it's not enough to come out with a very weak statement in the day Imamoglu was detained. We need a completely approach to Turkey in which the fundamentals are raised not only in bilateral private meetings, but publicly, to be heard for the Turkish society. Because what we are losing is not Erdogan and the minister. We are losing the pro-European society in Turkey, and they need to hear other voices than the parliament. Thank you.